Today we're going to talk about Trump's gift to Putin, and it was a gift, make no mistake about it. To understand how much of a gift, you have to understand what the treaty really was. The media is doing a really bad job of explaining that. Putin has indicated for the last decade that he wanted out of this treaty, and Trump just opened the door for him. The treaty was negotiated by people who actually knew how to negotiate on behalf of the U.S. back in '87. They didn't just write a book about making deals, they made them. And in this case, the United States walked away with everything, and the Soviet Union walked away with nothing. To use Putin's terminology, the leaders of the Soviet Union were naive, and he was right. It did two things: banned short and intermediate range missiles that were land-based, and that's the critical part, land-based. Intermediate range means 3,480 miles. Go ahead and pull up a map and take a look. The U.S. doesn't use them. Why? Because we have the Atlantic and the Pacific that we have to cross over. There's no targets within that range. You can find some minor targets in Russia that could be reached from intermediate range land-based missiles in Alaska. But that's it. It is not a piece of our strategic deterrence in any way, shape, or form. Our intermediate range missiles are seaborne. They're in subs, or they're launched from the sky. The Soviet Union then, and Russia today, don't have that kind of infrastructure. They can't do that. The U.S. Air Force controls the sky all over the world. And that's not national pride showing. That's just objective statement of fact. So we don't need land-based missiles. We have no use for them whatsoever. Russia does, because as NATO expands and picks up more and more former Warsaw Pact countries, their opposition gets closer and closer to their borders. So that means they need them. That's why Putin wanted them. This certainly appears to be a gift to Putin. And at the end of the day, we walk away with removing the only obstacle they have to developing weapon systems that threaten our European allies. We have thrown Europe under the bus. The other thing that it did was that it gave countries like North Korea and Iran, why should they follow any treaties? The U.S. doesn't. Russia didn't pull out of this, we did.
Наш ответ будет зеркальным. Американские партнеры объявили о том, что они приостанавливают свое участие в этом войне, и мы приостанавливаем. Они объявили о том, что они занимаются мирными инъекциями и опытной консультацией, и мы.
This was a mistake on a grand scale, and it's going to have repercussions for a very, very long